Hello, everybody, and welcome to the RangerRob Country Living Podcast. I'm trying to get organized like usual and failing, but of course, this is a good time for the dog to bark. Bailey's here.
No delivery. Hey, that's enough.
So anyway, guys, we just got the
Sorry.
show. Normally, this is how we're supposed to. This just proves that this is a live show. So anyway, guys, today, let's see, this is episode 103.
Jesse,
And the doggies is
Sorry.
excited, and my dog
Lay
is going
down.
to get ready to bark because they hear your dogs on the podcast.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Chelsea does not like the UPS truck.
ah, I'm
That's
surprised that you got UPS to come to your place so late.
They usually do. I think we're the last on the list.
So anyway, this week we have actually some new announcements, and we've had some interesting developments of on certain kind of chickens, which we'll talk about when we're ready. And see, but we've got a whole bunch of things going on after this show. By the way, 1 hour later at 8 o'clock, we're launching a video from RangerRob Country Living, the same platform. So I'm going to do another video drop at 8 o'clock. So this will be over at 7. So anyway, I thought to see what it's like to have two videos go out the same night. So, and just never ever ending changes around here. But I think a couple of things I was going to remind everybody of is we're starting our brooder that we're building this weekend. Hopefully we can actually build it in one weekend, because we have those our Rhode Island red replacements coming on the first of the month. And so what will happen with those is those little buggers will be our replacement ones that replacement chickens that will replace our older 3-year-old Rhode Island Reds, because it's time for them to retire. And then also we let them retire on the property and let them enjoy the 5 acres. So anyway, so that's what's going on with them. And then after that, our Leghorns come, and you guys are going halves with us on that. And we wanted to try a kind of a different kind of chicken that does just white eggs, just in case we get people out there just don't like brown eggs. Give them, So I'm going to get about 6 of those. I think you guys are doing about a half a dozen too. So
Yeah.
both of those are going to have roosters, because if we really like those birds, we can breed a couple of them and just build up our flocks a little bit for next year if we want to. If not, we just, I guess we're going to have roosters for dinner.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, something in the wind started blowing in the air, giving out ideas and all this stuff. And suddenly Rob was driving everybody crazy. He goes, "I've got to do it." And he says, "What are you going to do?" And I had to explain it to you guys. And you guys go, "Well, I think we should do it too." So the big
You're a bad influence.
So yeah, I wanted to make sure that you had more birds.
Yeah, I need them.
So
I had to do it.
So to build onto the story a little bit, as you guys know, we've been in Idaho pasture pigs a lot for quite a few years. And we've been through all kinds of heartaches and happiness and thrills and spills and all kinds of stuff with the Idaho pasture pigs. And we're getting older, and all of us like to go camping and go places. Anyway, so we thought finally we pulled the trigger, and plus I had a health issue last year that didn't help. But one of the things we wanted to do last year even is we wanted to get into game birds, like pheasants and checker and stuff like that. And anyway, so this year we pulled the trigger and we bought 35 checker. And they're partridges. They're a smaller bird. They're really a fun bird to have. And of course, on our channel, you'll be able to see watch them grow up. And they're very pretty and very colorful birds. and they're a very interesting bird to have. So we're looking forward to sharing those with you, and I'm looking forward to bringing them up because 20 years ago I used to actually raise checker and raise and breed them. And this year, when we get these new ones, this year we'll be raising the ones we get, and next year we'll be breeding a couple of pairs for next year, and slowly build up our flock
inventory.
And so and so while we were doing all this talking, all this, I started kind of explaining some of the stuff of what we were doing with the game birds. And actually, you guys are, I call it kind of a chicken expert. You guys do all kinds of different breeds of chicken and stuff, and it's been fun to watch. But I was always like different breeds of game birds, but that was in the past. But anyway, so my past is catching up with us, and we're converting some of our stuff to game birds, and hopefully we might be able to squeeze in getting a flock of game birds started over here. Just the Chinese rednecks.
The red legs.
Pretty much
The Chinese version of pheasants. And so if depends on how well the coop, building these coops and all these things. So of course, doing all this, both of our farms are going to be busier in hell, because I know we have extra coops to build over here. And plus the coops are a little bit different for game birds. So I know you got a lot of projects now, and so what do you think? Now you're doing your checker a little different than we are. What do you guys are doing your checker a little different than we're doing our checkers. We're getting babies. You guys are what?
Getting babies.
Yeah, but they're going to be eggs first, right? You're hatching them.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Yes.
Yeah. So your side of you guys are getting them. So you got them from a different breeder, because we want to be able to mix our mix our breeds together, so we can mix our flocks up. So we have mixed flocks. So we have stronger, stronger flocks, because they're coming from different locations. So anyway, that was I'm going to say her name and see if I say is it Bentley? Bailey. Bailey just got back, and we've been kind of waiting for her to come, because you guys have a story of some of your chickens, and we're going to let you tell the story, and I'll give you a setup here. But you guys have several different types of birds, and you took some red rangers, which are our feeder bird, and you grew some out, which are they're beautiful birds. However, you guys had a little disaster this week. You found out with that particular breed, and I'll just leave the story to for you guys to tell. But anyway, over there, you guys had kind of an emergency this week.
Yeah, we did. Bailey's still looking it up so I can explain it right. But I noticed one of my hens was losing a lot of feathers, and I thought maybe she was molting at first. Then I thought maybe the rooster was too rough on her. But that wasn't the case. She got an infection that affects the liver and the ovaries. And it moved on to another bird that we didn't know until yesterday.
Wow.
But what happened is I hatched some eggs out, and there was a sac that was on the belly button, and it was probably about 2-3 inches long.
Wow.
And so my granddaughter looked it up, and we both were investigating and found out that it was very contagious in the feces. So we find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's avian infectious toxic hepatoenteritis.
Jeez.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, y'all get that?
Yeah. So what's
So-
it called one more time? Go slow. How do you say it?
Avian infectious toxic hepatoenteritis.
Wow. Now, are you able to see in their droppings? Can you tell that they're sick?
No,
Oh wow.
no, I went when I was out there, I was looking around and see if there was any change, and there wasn't any. But we wouldn't have known it if I did not hatch this last batch out. Because the batch before, the babies were fine.
Yeah.
And then this batch, two of the babies, one had a little tiny, like the belly button was like red and protruding.
Uh-huh.
But the second one that hatched, it had a bag on it about this big
Both sides a quarter.
off of the belly button area. And so once we looked it up, we ended up all the eggs and the other chicks that hatched already, we had to gull them because when the little one was going around the cage, she got that stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
So we just took everything that was in the incubator and gulled them and threw the eggs away that wasn't. Well, I took all the eggs that started to hatch and
Yeah.
I put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then we went out that next day and we had to take out all of our birds.
Same day.
Wow.
Same day.
Oh, same day?
Yeah.
Same day. And
Wow.
when we got them to bring them to the cones, you could see two of the girls had that problem.
Wow.
So so they transfer it through the feces. It's not airborne.
I see.
And that rooster of ours was so big he didn't hardly fit in the cone.
Oh my God.
Had
That
a
was
hard time
huge.
getting them in there. Yeah. Well, even the hens were almost bigger than the cones.
Wow.
So, anyways, we end up taking. I think there was 6 altogether.
5 hens, 1 rooster.
Yeah, 6 altogether,
Wow.
and we just put them all down. So now I'm gonna
Start that one over.
take that pin and clean it out and dig the dirt, probably about 4 inches, and then put lime down and that natural earth
Yeah.
and put it in the dirt and let it sit for a couple months.
That's a good idea.
And
Yeah.
all the dirt that comes out of it and everything's going to be put on the bonfire when I burn all the limbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, because I don't dare put it in the compost pile.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're just gonna burn the dirt and the hay that's in there.
Now, before I forget, I see that Albright Farm Studio is watching, and I
Oh.
actually watch their videos all the time, and I know they watch ours, and they've sent us really nice notes, and it kind of were by our side during the time when I had a stroke last year and everything, and I really appreciate that. But I did put a note on one of their videos, and I don't know if they got it, but I was trying to invite them to come to our podcast, one of these shows we do. So I know that they're actually
Maybe
watching.
we'll
So I am
open it up.
asking
You're in a
them.
bubble.
I'm what? I don't think it's me. Anyway, so I have I put an invite to the Albright Farm Studio if they want to be on our podcast. It's one of these weeks. So when they get a chance, send us a note or something. But some reason I didn't see a reply when I asked them if they wanted to be on our show. So
That would be fun.
It'd be
Yeah.
be fun because I believe their farm is in Sisters, and they have
Oh.
all kinds of critters. And so and one thing I didn't know that they were doing so much in game birds, but we actually had a game bird farm before all this 20 years ago. And so we're kind of excited to get back into it, not at the volume that I was back then, but just enough to do a little breeding to kind of just get pheasants and checker going in this region a little bit, because I noticed there isn't that many farmers. So anyway, we're kind of excited to get into the game birds. So between Debbie and John here and us, it's like we should have a lot of game birds of checker and possibly pheasants in the next year or two. So kind of excited about it. I'm
You
trying
know,
to put
I
on here.
sorry. I've gone on YouTube to try to learn more about these birds.
Yeah,
There is not a whole lot.
I know it's a lot of
There's like two or three guys on there, but it's not they're not a teaching thing. Like, how do you raise checkers, or
yep.
how do you make a setup for them? None
Yep.
of that's on there.
And none of them in this area.
I've
that's
been
for sure.
monitoring what I can now, but back when we were in great game birds before, that was before YouTube was really going. And we had to learn things. Luckily, there was a Oregon Game Bird Association. There was one here, but I've noticed it doesn't seem like they have one now. But we learned that most of the stuff we learned about game birds was through the association. So I'm a little disappointed that in the videos I'm seeing, I'm seeing bits and pieces of some information, but there isn't anybody out there that's really doing informational information for people that want to raise them. So I'm kind of hoping that on our channel that we'll try to talk about game birds as often as we can, along with all the other
What
things
we
talk
learn.
about.
I mean, like myself, I've never raised a game bird, but
You'll love
I'm
it.
really looking forward to it,
You'll love them.
and I'm
So-
looking forward to making a home for them. But yeah, I have not a clue what to do because there's nothing out there to teach you.
Yeah, we as we get to know Albrights a little more, it'd be neat to be able to share some of their information on their farm. And
You see the comments?
yeah, I'm reading them. so I'm getting sidetracked here. To sell them, I imagine are regulations through Oregon. So yeah, so
Check
there's a
that-
lot of
check that out.
information. You got to pass it on and stuff. And
Thank you.
yeah, and it's nice that I'm glad that she was on here so I could connect with her, because I think they'd have fun doing being a guest on our show. And you don't have to, we'll ask the questions, so we'll definitely always have something to talk about. But yeah,
She
I
said
know
she's
they've got,
shy.
We were all
they
shy
got
before we started this.
I wasn't, unfortunately.
Well,
but they've got a lot of animals that we don't. So it'd be really nice to share information from them. And
Yeah.
of course, they do raise some of the things that we do too. They have a Cooney Cootie pig, I believe.
Aw, I miss
And,
mine.
I don't know if they do any other kind, but I believe it's a Cooney Cootie that I keep seeing on their videos. But they're very much like us. When they talk on this. However, I do want to remind you is I've saw a couple of videos from the Albrights that were showing the problem with people staying out in BLM land with in tents and in RVs and stuff that are homeless, and how dirty and awful it is back in some of these back roads and places over in Bend. And I don't know the area, but I'm really glad that they shared those videos with people showing that we have a problem of a lot of homeless people out there. And of course, the areas that they're in are getting trashed really bad. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they can find some solutions for the homeless and for BLM lands to be maintained better. So of course, it costs budgets and how to deal with all that. But they brought up a subject that a lot of people ignore, and I'm really proud of them bringing up the subject for all of us to be aware of how bad the homeless problem is in Bend, and
Yeah, it's
Red
bad.
Bend Butte, and also there's even BLM land over here in Terrebonne that's being used by the homeless. So Yeah, so it's a bigger problem than a lot of people know about. So to have her on our show would be really nice if they would share information of what they may have learned to pass on to us. So, and yeah, she has a coon and a, how do you say that?
Javelina.
Javelina?
Yeah, that's their. They have a whole bunch of them in Arizona.
Yeah. Oh, it's those, that kind?
Yeah,
I've almost tripped over one. They were sitting, I was at an RV park that had wild javelinas in it, and they were just chewing on some cactus and stuff. Anyway, just about walked over a little herd of them. Luckily, they weren't too mean.
the
But
ones
when I
we had,
realized what they were,
Yeah, we had them coming through our yard all the time.
yeah,
and it was a herd of about, I'd say close to about 15,
Yeah.
and they had one big boar.
wow, that's
And I had to keep telling Debbie, get in the house, get in the house.
yeah, they're
No, I
nasty.
want to see my pigs.
They're nasty pigs. She
Not
said
a
her
wild
pig's not a wild one.
I don't think that's a javelina.
So yeah, so we got to get together and get them on the show. And if you really like doing it, you could be a regular. Because there's nothing regular about what we're doing here.
Right?
It never is.
Just talking in the wind about anything. But so yeah, so our big excitement is for me is getting back into game birds is really fun. And when my kids were little, of course they're in their 40s now. We had our game bird back then, and
Yeah.
it was really a fun
I
thing
know
to
what
do
that
with the
one is.
family.
It's not a
Well, she says-
javelina. It's a
Javelina.
There you go. Are they the ones with the really long nose?
Tells her she needs to type faster.
Nah, it's all right.
That was fun. I'm really glad they're on the show.
Yeah, my big plan is building more chicken coops.
Yeah, so my kit, my video is coming out tonight. We talk about as we got our kit in. It's a 19 and a half by 9 foot width.
Juliana.
Juliana.
Thank you.
My Amazon cage came in, so we're gonna be building that in the next day or two. And so I've never used a coop that was made out of aluminum or metal, and so we'll soon have one of those built, and we can tell people if they're worth a hoot. But if they do work good, it was about $249 for the whole thing. And when you compare that to the price of wood and getting all the metals and stuff like that, it's pretty much the same price, if not more, depending on how you build your coops. So I'm interested to see how this kit that we ordered is going to work. And then we're not sure we're going to use it for the chucker or not, or if we're going to use it for the leghorns, but one of them is going to work. So we'll see. So we got a lot of things, lots of things to build along with the brooder. So, and a giant gardens, and we'll be explaining on that video tonight. And it, like I said, lunch is at 8 o'clock. How we're going to do our above ground gardens on the side of the house that we didn't touch last year due to some reason I was sidetracked last year. I can't understand why, but anyway. And Debbie, you're typing because you got that look in your eye, like you're really seriously
No,
trying.
actually, she's looking for something that she
Chess.
got coming.
I can't remember if I told you the thing that I did this morning.
What'd you vote? What'd you do?
What'd you buy?
I got Bailey. I bought I can't get it up.
I swear we have a competition between each family here.
Oh, you just don't do that.
No, it's on the email. I bought a coop.
You did, but
Why?
you got John.
I know, but I bought a coop.
John, you let her buy a coop?
Well, I got it through Wayfair,
Yeah.
and it was originally like 139. I got it for $59 because I had some coupon they gave me that I didn't see.
Oh, wow.
Because I haven't used these guys in a lot of years, but I had a coupon welcome back. So I only paid $59 for this 6x12x7 coop.
Where's this coop going?
That's for
Out there,
the chuckers.
maybe.
Yeah. So
Anyways, it fits up to 12 large chickens.
so with the
'Cause
Albright, I'm going to answer Albright's thing is with our checker pins, you saw our normal chicken pins, then which are in loop pins and coops and stuff like that. With the checker, we're going to do probably 30, 16.
you're in a bubble.
All we're
What are
getting
you
is
talking about? What's the bubble?
You sound like you're in a bubble.
Oh, I know last time we had a show like that, I know that when we talk, you might be hearing a bubble, but somehow the internet corrects it so it doesn't sound that way when you watch our normal show. But anyway,
Oh, that's good because we didn't hear a word you said.
okay, well, I'm going to answer the question from Albright's here. Is when we built coops before, we used to make 8-foot high walls, and we would use normal chicken wire for those, even though sometimes they didn't like those. But on our roofs, we always use netting, and we use loose netting, and we would put a pole in the center of it. So we do like a 16 by 16 and make the top go really high. So because checkers and pheasants are very flighty birds. And so we know that they'll want to fly a lot and they jump up a lot. And so having a hard surface or a hard netting for them to run into, they could get hurt really bad, which we were saying in the notes below here. And yes, we'll definitely be avoiding having, we're trying to make the roofs of our coops higher. And if you're going to have a lot of birds in there, they're very flighty. And we definitely know that. And so our coops are going to be built a lot different than the ones that we have now. So, which we'll explain all that when we do our videos and stuff. And we're going to also explain a little bit for which we surprised Debbie and John a little bit, is we're next year we'll be doing make our eggs from the I got tongue tied here. So on the checker, we want to breed our checker for next year, hopefully mixing up our birds a lot. And some people don't know that when you go to have if you ever watch shows where they have incubators, and maybe they'll have those giant incubators, and they say that they'll load like 500 eggs into it, and that 23 days later, all those birds hatch at the same time. And when we first got into game birds, we couldn't. It wasn't in writing anywhere. We're trying to find out, how do you get your birds to all hatch at the same time? So what we found out from farmers, and the association told us about it, is if you take your eggs out of the nest, a lot of farmers, they just keep them for like a week or so, and then they'll load whatever they have into an incubator. Well, you don't, if you refrigerate them at 55 degrees, and I'll say it again, if you refrigerate them at 55 degrees, and what we used back then was a wine cooler. Anyway, so as you're collecting your eggs, and let's say you want to get 50, and it may take you 2 weeks or so to get 50 ready to go into an incubator. Well, if you keep loading them into a refrigerator at 55 degrees until you have the amount you want, Then you'll take them all out at the same time, put them in your incubator, put dates on your incubator so you know 23 days from now when you load them. Anyway, what's really cool is on that 23rd day, all your eggs will hatch at the same time, and you'll because you held them at 55 degrees, a lot of your eggs may not have survived doing it the other way. Anyway, you'll find you'll have probably a 75% return rate on your hatched eggs. So anyway, some people don't know that, and so I thought, well, I'll mention it and tell. This is something we learned from other farmers, and if you watch all the videos out here, even the farmers won't tell you they refrigerate their eggs, but they won't tell you what temperature. Anyway, so there you go. I'm telling you a big secret: 55 degrees. Use a wine cooler, and you'll be able to store your eggs a little longer until you get the number you want, and then put them all in the incubator at the same time, and they all hatch the same time. It's really cool.
Well,
So,
we're gonna find that theory out because I ran right out and got one, and I got some eggs in there now, and we're gonna see if that theory works.
yep. And I was just looking at. They hold their eggs for about 7 days, 7 days before they load. And like I said, if you refrigerate them constantly at the same temperature, you could actually go longer if you wanted to. And anyway, give it a try one of these days.
Yeah, I've been
So-
turning mine too. That's in the cooler.
So yeah, all kinds of fun. But with game birds, I don't know what it is about game birds, but even the videos you watch, it seems like they only tell you certain. Either they don't know or they don't tell you information that really is quite helpful to being successful. So anyway, we should be off to a good start. The hardest thing I think both of us are going to have is getting our flocks integrated and mixed up enough to have them, so they're not all from the same farm. So that's the hardest thing we had back in 20 years ago, and we'll probably have a hard time this time. It will take probably 2 years to really get good mixes into your flocks. So anyway, we're excited, and I know you guys are going to love Checker. You must be seriously typing over there.
Oh, she is.
And Debbie and John are definitely bird enthusiasts, and so it's going to be
Love
fun
it.
to watch.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we're looking
I
forward
just like to build coops.
Yeah, you just want wait till you get into. If you really get into the pheasants, you're going to be building some very interesting coops in the future.
Oh, joy. Thanks, Rob.
Well,
Well, this coop I got, we do have to improve on it.
I know. I
Which I knew that.
I gotta put spongy netting in it.
I'm waiting for Debbie to say, "Well, tell you the
So
truth, I have 3 coops on order." See, my goal on our farm is, will I ever catch up to Debbie? Well, how many
Not a
birds?
chance.
Not even gonna happen. Don't even try. The best husband builds coops. Yep. I don't even have to ask him. It's like these ones that he's doing now. I didn't say a word. That is all on him. I will fill them though.
I have seen quite the improvement too. Since I've watched them making coops, they've gone from very simple to very sophisticated and actually fitting better and a lot more ideas into your cages.
Well,
And
that
so in the
and I
last
gotta
3
make
years,
them kind of gentle to the eye, put it that way. Not right now. We've got them all pretty much blended in together, so it kind of looks
Yeah.
like a little town.
Yep. So, so yeah, he's getting very fancy with his. It's all I can do to keep up with him. In fact,
Yeah, he
I-
builds
I
it, and
did-
then I go in and tell him, "Oh no, we need to do this. We need to do that.
yeah,
We need to
I
put this
decided
wood on the front."
I decided just to have a stroke so I didn't have to keep up with John all the time.
You what?
So I decided to have a stroke last year so I didn't have to keep up with John.
Is that how it's done?
Yeah. I don't suggest trying it. Try something different. But now that Sherry says, well, now you're doing so much better, it's like, we can go back to doing this, and this. So now I got a big list of chores. So
She even made him roller till. I'm so proud of her.
oh yeah, it's gonna get hardcore this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a
Right.
gigantic honeydew list.
Yeah. Mine keeps getting longer and longer.
But you make them for yourself.
Oh, no. You two, between you and Bailey, you guys keep me busy.
We haven't asked him to build one thing, have we?
The
That
cat-
is on you.
The cat run?
I'm not taking
I didn't
that.
ask you to build a cat run. I just said I wanted one.
Well, what do you think's the difference?
Well, last time I was over there, I heard, well, John's building me a cat house on the side of the house so the cat can go outside. And so like, oh, so John's got another project. How did that happen?
Yep.
So,
See, we mention it, but we don't ask him to do it. It's just like it would be nice to have one.
yeah, that's just like, yeah.
And he jumps right on it every time.
Yeah.
The way you ask.
I got a feeling that the Mr. Albright has probably got some stories for us about what his wife makes him or suggests that he makes or builds.
Right?
I'd love to hear his stories.
And when they make mysterious batches of cookies, all of a sudden, then I
Yeah,
get worried.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No kiss butt there.
Yeah, it's like, and I also understand that John works for milk.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he does.
I think you
Anybody
guys
that
are
can drink 2 gallons in 3 days, yeah, he works
Yeah.
for his milk.
We just got to find a farm that has some raw milk on it that we can trust, and start getting raw milk again.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's the best.
Yeah.
You had no idea what you signed up for. Nope, he doesn't.
I do now.
He's starting to catch on.
You're stuck now.
Now he just has 2 of us.
There's 11 coops out there, and I've got 13 in the planning, plus 1 more on the way.
Well, I've been
No,
kind of
One
I've been
more will
thinking
make
about
13.
thinking
Okay.
about the checker a little bit,
And the cat house.
we did it a little different 20 years ago, but for breeding, it looks like what's ideal is to have 1 and maybe 2 males with 3 to 6 females to be a breeding stock. And a lot of times what you'll make smaller cages for those breeder stocks. So, for example, I would
Excuse
probably
me, I
want
want to ask. I didn't get that. Are
what's
you
that?
2, like, I don't know, are they called
So
roosters?
you take 1 rooster, and you want the best ones you think you have, or
Uh-huh.
and I've seen more than 1 rooster, even with game birds, and put them in their own cage. So even though I have 35 birds coming, I may only take 6 to 8 of those birds and put them in their own cage, with a couple of females, and it'll just be for breeding. Because
Couple
if you have
females
I've seen they've been saying up to 6 to 8. 6 is
for
ideal,
one rooster.
right?
Okay.
However, if you got 2 roosters that can be in there just to kind of make sure that they're very fertile, and they get along enough, it also depends on how frisky they get between the 2 roosters, because roosters can be kind of nasty to each other, but
Yeah,
some of
that's
them get
why
along really.
that's why I wanted you to repeat that, because I thought you said
If
2
they get along
roosters,
good, you could
that's
put 2 roosters in, but you got to watch them real close. Pheasants are really bad. Is really you want if you can just get away with one rooster with a couple of hens, that's good too.
Okay, she's got a question. How do you sex? How do you sex them? I don't have a clue, to be honest.
They're hard to tell apart. I can tell you, it's been a long time. But if I had live birds, I could probably, if they're teenagers, a little bit past teenager, I would be able to tell because it's definitely they're smaller. Than
Not by the vent or the
no,
the wings.
Not that I can remember. It's been 20 years, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. But when you look at Chucker, it's really hard at when they're younger to tell them apart. However, there is a way to do it. I just don't know. So when I get my birds, I'll look it up and start practicing, and I'll see if I can identify them. Because the sooner that you and I can mix some of our birds between each farm, the better when they're young. Because when they get older, Chucker are colony birds. And if you add new birds from another colony, they could possibly go into a big turf war and kill off half the. We lost about 10 Checker one day. We just left for the day and came back, and prior to doing that, we mixed two colonies together, not knowing that when they're older, they're very dominant. Anyway, I guess it was a bloodbath. So you got to be careful. So you want to do everything you can while they're young, and give them time to blend in. So if you just set up a little breeding colony, you'll do fine. But if you have too many roosters in there, they fight for the right to be to breed with each female. So anyway, so they're very ferocious as far as to each other, not to people so much. So anyway. But her question is good. How do you sex them? And I'm not sure. I can tell you when you look at them when they're older, you can definitely see the differences. But I can't
The
remember
long
what they
tail
are.
feathers, pointed saddles, and heckle feathers, and more pronounced combs and water, like a chicken.
Did he freeze?
No, he's
Oh.
he's thinking. I just looked it up.
Yeah. So anyway, you'll see when they're young, you'll have a heck of a time trying to decide which ones are males and females. But as they become adults, or close to adults, you can definitely see the differences. But it's not as obvious as chickens. So that's a good subject to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll have
It says the roosters generally have more color.
I believe that.
And if they're running around with lipstick, they're hens.
That's right. And if they're wearing Old Spice, they're roosters.
Be the same, yeah. 7 months. So they'd be fully feathered. But yet it says the rooster's colors are more pronounced, and the distinctive pattern of black and white and chestnut markings on their forehead, throat, and chest for a rooster.
And next year at this time, you're going to be experts in telling us that.
I will too. I'll be able to say it right, huh?
So the Albarts are saying that
develop longer
she
pointer.
can't tell the difference between any of the birds. And they are close.
Let's say the same thing.
Maybe you got a whole bunch of hens.
Yeah, when we get ours, maybe we can trade. And what farm did you get yours from, Rob?
Oh, me? Mine came out
Yeah.
from
What farm? Huh?
McMurray's.
McMurray's, and I got mine from I think it's called Harding. So we make sure we don't have birds from the same company, so we can breed and not crossbreed. So I got mine from one company. You got yours from another. So we're gonna trade.
And maybe you could sweet talk some of the Albrights to trade some of theirs with us.
Yeah. That'll give you 3 different locations. A lot of more variety.
How many do you get any eggs from your females now? I'm talking to the Albrights right now. Are they getting lots of eggs now because they've had theirs for 4 years?
She's gonna take some pictures tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Please.
Are they old enough? Don't they have to be a year before they start laying? Because they lay in the springtime, is what I read.
Yeah.
So maybe hers should be getting ready to lay.
But she has some that she would like to trade with us by next spring. Might be able to add them to your breeders and mix them even more. And once we can determine what our males and females look like, we can all make sure we have breeders.
What you got in the mail?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm very interested on her input.
Definitely.
Yes.
She's the first one we've talked to that has any game birds.
I'm not going to put it out here.
Oh.
I'll find her on Facebook and private message, but I'm not going to put it out here for the world to see. Imagine what I'd get.
And on you guys are easily found on the Facebook, so just tell them to look for Debbie Sternberg. And you guys
Yeah, I also have a JD Homestead on.
You do?
When I don't. Yeah, I do. I don't go on it very much anymore.
By the way,
I launched have one.
Today. I launched a new page, and it's called Central Oregon Game Birds.
Oh, cool!
I sent an invite to you, but I really haven't
advertised. I don't know how you're
sending
them because I'm not getting your stuff.
I know. Anyway, we'll be it'll be a very much more active web page the next couple of months, but right now I just got it set up in a couple.
Oh, I'm sorry. She is getting eggs.
Oh, good. She says lots of eggs.
I wish I would have known that. I would have bought them from her.
Yeah. In fact, if you want to get rid of a couple of eggs or something like that, I'd buy like a half dozen or something like that, and I'll incubate them here. So I'll add them to our.
I will too.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm getting mine. the hatchery said she just got 2 eggs when I called her. But yeah, I would love to. My incubator's empty right now. I need something in it.
That's right. Mine's been off for about a year and a half, so it's ready to get mine fired up too.
I will message her. Private message her.
Did she get it? Did I get an invite? I think I sent an invite to Albrights. Oh no, I didn't. I'll get one sent out to you. But yeah, so I just keep it a handful of people following, and I'll put out big invitations later when I know the content's going and stuff. It takes about a month for our page to really get going good. So give it patience, and by then I'll have pictures in there of the birds and information for people to contact us and all that kind of stuff. any people who want to do business with us or trades and stuff like that, just let
Tough one.
So it should be a very active web page. It's not a web page, a Facebook page by the next spring. And yes, we're the same way. We shut down all of our websites. I'm not doing those anymore. I just don't have time to work on the internet anymore. But I do have I do like Facebook pages. So if you need a web page for a certain thing, like for example, you said you had your farm on there. I need to know what the link is. But like I said, Facebook does a great job making it easy for people to find you, even if you're just doing a front page, if that makes sense. So you're more than welcome to them.
I'm messaging you right now on Facebook.
That's why Debbie's not talking at all on this whole podcast because she's sitting there working on Facebook all day.
I just now got on it, but I was looking up information about those birds you talked me into.
She's always networking.
Since I ordered them and have no clue.
Yeah, so she's been busy over there.
Anyway,
so people aren't seeing it. If you don't see it yet, is on the chat we have the Albrights just writing miles of information to us on the chat, which we're very happy she is. And so a lot of us are just reading and talking to her straight, and not even talking to people on the show.
She's got pheasant eggs too, Rob.
Yeah. So yeah. So anytime you can bring different birds into your flock, the better.
Well, I'm gonna wait on the pheasant and learn these ones first, and then I'll go to the. In fact, we were just talking to our son today about the pheasants.
Yeah.
But I want to learn one bird at a time.
Yeah, because you get into pheasants, it's a little bit more work.
Yeah.
And those cages have to be flyaway cages because they are very flighty. Otherwise, you'll have really yucky looking game pheasants because they have really pretty feathers, but they have the right kind of cage, so they have lots of room to move around and whip their tails around and not break their tails and stuff. So all I know is can't wait till it all happens, but it's actually there's a whole year to hold this. But next year will really be exciting.
Yeah.
And for those of you
oh, you can put them together.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh.
Well, that'd be kind of cool.
Ooh. Okay, here we go. Ready? Will the rooster pheasant mate with the littler birds?
Oh no, don't do that.
Well, if you put them together, how are you going to stop it? Those would be some cool looking ring neck feathers or pheasants.
That would be kind of like having
a new breed.
That would be kind of like having a Saint Bernard and a wiener dog.
That's right. I tend to be a breed conscious kind of person, so that's why I have golden retrievers and German shepherds and stuff. They're all purebreds, and I tend to like that because it tells me what their personalities are going to be like. But I don't know if I've never heard anybody do it.
He said you can't. They won't do that, so I guess we're not making our own bird.
We'll call them the Stromberg Finch or something.
Right? No, I think I'd like mine separated.
It's going to be a fun year.
A weenard. Odd.
So, guys, it's almost been an hour. Can you believe it?
No.
You got a lot accomplished, a lot learned.
Yeah, talking about bird. I'm going to make sure I use the right ending this time. But yeah, so Um, our big excitement on both farms is we both have checkers coming, and Lord knows what we'll be doing in the future. But everything between them and us, there's a lot more work on the farm to get done to get all of our infrastructure set up for this. So it's going to be fun, but a lot of work. And I want to thank the Albrights
Yes.
to chatting with us and giving us some really good information. And we'd love to have you on the show. And it's a very easy thing to do. All I do is send you a link. You don't have to download any software. You just turn on, click on the link, and it automatically will turn on your computer. So you don't have to download any software to be on the podcast. So if you are interested and we have a show coming up, we'll schedule a time, and then we give you a link. You click on it a couple of minutes, 15 minutes before the show starts. We make sure we get a sound check, and it's really easy. And my job is to ask the questions and keep the conversation going. And it's a lot of fun. It's nothing hard on your computer to do it. So if you want to try it, we can do a test. And if you want to be on the show, we'd love to have the Albrights on the show. That'd be a really nice thing, and it'd be good for your farm too. So anyway, guys, thank you very much.
And I sent you a message on Messenger and added you on Facebook.
Cool. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the show. Thank you for sharing your story about the problems you're having with those particular birds. Gives us all a good heads up to watch the health of your birds. And sometimes the worst thing you got to do is you may have to start over with your flock, and maybe sometimes it's just medication. But anyway, it's always good to share your information, whether it's good or bad. So, and I want to thank the Sternbergs for my.
Strombergs.
I know, it just came out. I'm an old guy and I had a stroke. Remember?
You're younger than us.
Strombergs.
Sternberg.
Sternberg.
Sternbergs.
Stern of a ship and an iceberg.
How long have we
Oh.
known each other?
That was a brain fluff. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the show. I want to thank the Sternbergs for being on the show. We love to have the Albrights on the show whenever they're ready. And keep in touch and keep your videos flowing. And we're definitely we'll try to get more of our videos out. And at 8 o'clock tonight, we have a new video coming out too. So anyway, guys, talk to you later. Goodbye, Debbie and John, even though you're not paying attention to us.
Bye, Rob, my buddiest.
Yeah, see you later, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
RangerRob, country